All right, welcome back to Photoshop. So today we are going to have a little bit of fun and turn this image into a watercolor painting. Now, the cool thing about turning this into a painting is once you've kind of done the process, it's actually pretty easy to swap photos in and out. So you don't have to go through the whole process over again. You can just put a new image in there and it should automatically work with the different layer adjustments that you have. So when creating watercolor paintings, the steps and process is actually pretty easy. One of the main things, however, you'll need is a brush, a watercolor brush. And in my case, you're going to see me use a whole bunch of different watercolor brushes. Now, if you don't have watercolor brushes, you can easily find them usually and download them. Alternatively, I'm going to show you how to take a watercolor image and turn that into a watercolor brush. All right, so we have two main images here. We have this image and we have this. Now this is our paper. You can see this paper is a little bit yellow, and you can use any type of watercolor or paper that you like for this to work. However, this is very warm and this is very cool. So that's gonna look a little bit weird together. So what we're gonna do first is I'm just gonna suck the color out of this image, and I'm gonna do it destructively because we don't need to keep it for right now. So I'm just gonna suck that out and make this a pure white watercolor paper. What do we need to do? This is very simple. We just need to take this image and move it over to the other image. So I'll just simply take my move tool and come over here, hold the shift key and place that right on top. Now I've sized the image so both of these were the same in width. These are 6,000 pixels. So this is quite a large image. So this isn't like some reduced image size that you're going to put only on the web. This is something you could definitely print out very large if that's something that you like. We can see right here we've got a little bit of discrepancy, or the image size doesn't work perfectly. So that's pretty easy. We can just hit clear up here. We don't want any ratio, and then we can just pull this down till it matches, and we can just come up here and pull this. And these are just snapping to the grid, so that's pretty easy to get them in the correct location. And good. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit return, and voila. All right, we've got two images that perfectly fit. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to duplicate layer one. So I'm going to hit Command J, and I did it twice, which I didn't mean to do. And so this one, this top layer, we're going to call this edges. So what we're going to do with edges is create the edges of the image. However, this doesn't mean that you have to use this option in your image, and it's really easy to do. So what we're going to do is go up here to filter, drop down to stylize, and find edges. And you can see just like that, this has found the edges of the image. Now it's found them, but it's doing this in color. We don't want this in color. So once again, I'm going to destructively just suck that color out. So I'm not going to use the color, and I might not use all the edges, but for right now, we're just going to go ahead and leave these. But the main images that we're looking at is really the subject. I don't know if we need the edges down here on the bottom, and that's something that we can just simply remove if we like by using a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and then I'm just going to turn this off because at this point, we don't really need this. Now, the next thing that we need to do is we want to turn this image into sort of a watercolor painting. So how would you do that? Very simple. You're going to go up here to filter. And in this case, instead of just going into the filter gallery and destructively editing this, I think it's going to be a better option to right click on this layer and convert it to a smart object. This way, if we need to go back up and change it, or we don't like what we did, we have the option to remove the effect from the image, and that's always a better option. So now we can go back up here and we can go up to filter gallery. And you can see right up here under artistic, which is our first option, we have right here, which we got watercolor. So we're just going to go ahead and hit watercolor. And you can see the effect that we're getting on the watercolor. We can come in here. This has the option to change brush detail. So we can lower the brush detail, or we can increase the brush detail. It's up to you as to what you want to do, whether you want to have more brush detail or less brush detail. And this is something that you need to play around with, and it does take a little bit to render itself when you're doing it. So shadow intensity, I don't know if I want that much shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce that down to 0. And then we have texture, so we can lower the texture that we have in the image. And we need to let that run through. And I'm basically watching the little blue progress bar down there to see what it does. And we can come up here and I'll show you what increased texture looks like. We're watching that go through, and now you can see that's that increased texture. I don't think I want that much texture, so I think I'm going to go back down to 1. So let's look at detail again. So we've got the other two kind of set where we want. So this is 11. Let's go down here to this detail. Let that run through. There's not a huge amount of difference, but I think I like that. Let's try less. Well, you can hardly tell the difference. Bring it back up. Definitely is a little bit smoother. So I think we're going to go with the smoother option right there. And look, you can stack these, so you can come down here and hit plus and stack different effects. But we're just going to do the watercolor effect today. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So now you can see that this is an option that I can just simply turn on and off. So it's a much better option than being stuck with the original image. All right, so we've got that, and then we've got the little find edges right here. Now find edges, we're going to want to change that blending mode to either darken or multiply. So darken or multiply. In this case, I'm going to use darken. And what that's going to do is simply just kind of give us a dark sort of a contour edge line around the image. Sometimes they look good and sometimes they don't. Like right down here, I don't know if I actually like the contour edges. And so this might be something that I would just simply come in here and take a mask. And obviously you take the color black in your brush, and we would want a giant large brush, so we could just come in here, brush that out of this image really quickly. And so now we're saying, hey, we want the contoured edges, but we don't want them down here because it's kind of distracting, but we want them around our subject. So this is something that we could turn on and off at any time. So that looks pretty good. So now we've got this here and we've got that here. Next thing I'm going to do is we have the option to do this 2 different ways. One, we can simply lower the opacity of the image. And what this is going to do is start bringing that texture through. Or we can take the paper texture, duplicate it, put it on top, and then we can really lower this a lot. And that's going to give us some of that paper texture over top of this image. So we've got that right there. So we've got a little paper texture that we'll see here in a second. It is overlaying the density a little bit. When we do that, you can see we're losing some contrast. A watercolor paper isn't going to have this much contrast anyways, so I think in this case it works, but you could always boost that up if it's something that you like to do. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to group all of these into one layer. So we're going to go ahead and click on the top layer, click on this layer, hit Command G or Control G on a PC and group this, and then we're going to give this an inverted mask by holding the Alt option, clicking on the mask, and that just gives us a black mask. So now you can see all that we can see here is the paper. So this is where finding or using a brush is going to come into effect. You can come over here and you'll see I've got my brush, and I can come up here to the brushes and I can scroll down, and I've got all kinds of different brushes here. So it looks like these are some different brushes. And when I come over, there's my watercolor brush. That's exactly what we want. I've got another watercolor brush. This is another different watercolor brush. And so what I'm going to actually be doing with the watercolor brush is taking a brush and painting into the mask. Right now, you can see my mask is black. We want that white, and I will eventually control the opacity, but I'm going to basically I'm going to apply a brush to paint into the mask. So we're going to reveal the painting below, but using a watercolor brush. And so what that does is give the image that watercolor effect that we're looking for. So she's right over here. You can see we're getting that watercolor effect by using a brush. Now, if I use the same brush over and over again, it's going to look like it repeated all over the place. So this is where having multiple brushes really comes into effect. However, let me open a different image here so I can show you how to create your own brush. So right here, I have a series of images. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do some brushes. So right here, I have this image here, which is a PNG, and I'm going to go ahead and open that. We're going to convert that profile, and you can see I've got this really cool kind of cherry blossoms. So we're going to go ahead and hit open again. And I'm going to pick this Adobe Illustrator file right here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit open. And this is going to bring it up. I'm going to change this to RGB. So we're in 8 bits. We're going to open this up. It needs to be, we're going to do about a 5,000 pixel brush. I don't think I'll ever use anything much bigger than that. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So right here, we've got this watercolor image, and it's on a translucent background. Now we want this to actually be in black and white. So I am going to come up here, Command U is my quick key, or Control U for that. And we're just going to desaturate this image. Now this is the coolest thing right here. So to create a brush from a watercolor Illustrator file, or it could be a JPEG really, all you need to do is come up here. We're going to flatten this image. We actually want to flatten this image. So we want black and white. That's very important. And then you're just going to come up here and go Edit, Define Brush Preset. And so we're going to call this watercolor. It's picking the file name, brush from image, so that everybody knows what it is. And we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And now I'll watch what happens when I grab my brush. So now if we switch back over to the image, now you can see, bam, that former image is now a watercolor brush. And it's working just like the other watercolor brushes that I had. And you can do this for any sort of watercolor brush. So if we come over here to that really cool image in which we have these cherry blossoms, I'm going to layer, flatten this image. I'm going to desaturate. So that's Command or Control U. I'm going to take the color out because we don't want the color. And I'm actually going to do curves layer. So Command or Control M. And I'm doing this destructively because I don't really need to make layers or want to. And I can actually make this brighter or darker depending on how I want. So if I want a little more contrast in the brush, I can pump that up like that. Then once again, come up here, down to Define Brush Preset. Now I've already created one of these, so I'm not going to do it again. But in this case, I would just call it something like Cherry Blossom Brush, and I'm going to hit OK. So what does my cherry blossom brush look like? So we'll just come in here, and I can click on cherry blossoms, you can see. And we'll go out of that, and we'll go back to this group. Now we can make this brush as big as we want. All right, so I got this pretty big brush. I'll make it bigger. Now in this case, this brush is going the wrong direction. I don't want it that direction. So notice I have brush settings over here. To get that, you would just go up here, window to brush settings. Right here we have flip X and flip Y, so I can flip those. So in this case, I want to flip them both. And I can also rotate my brush if I want. So in this case, I might want this brush to go a little bit like this. And now I'm going to make this really big, and it's not going to show up well. But now I'm going to click, and bam, it made the cherry blossom effect right over that image. And if I want this to be a little stronger, I can click it again so we get a better effect there. So look at that. We got that really cool watercolor effect using just this image. And if I want to illuminate more, I can easily just go in here and start changing those brushes. So remember, I had a whole bunch of different brushes, and I could come in here and start changing them. So I can come in here, I can look at that brush and say, no, I don't like that brush. No, I don't like that brush. No, I don't like that brush. Maybe I want my brush that we created. So I can come down here to watercolor brush for the image. Now, if you don't want your brush to show up at 100%, and I'm going to reduce this down smaller, we can reduce the opacity or the flow. In this case, I'll just do the opacity to 50%. And so if I just want a little bit of it to appear, but not fully, I can be at that 50% and come in here and click, and then just kind of fill in a little bit of that area with that brush. And now I've got this really cool kind of watercolor effect on my image. Now what I can do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to crop this a little bit because I've got this a little asymmetrical to that direction. I'm going to keep this to a 2:3 ratio, I think. I can't guarantee that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and just open this back up. And I will move this all the way over to this edge because I know I want that edge right there. And then I'm just going to come in here and crop. And the trick for this is I don't really want any of this going off the edges. I want everything in here in the center, but this is looking pretty good. I might get a little close to this bottom edge. And I'm going to go ahead and just apply that crop to see what it looks like. And yeah, that's kind of exactly what I want right there. Now, I'm going to come up here and make a little curves adjustment. If I wanted to increase contrast or anything in here, I could come in here. And once again, you can just adjust this because it's just a photo. It's a little soft for me, but I want to kind of increase that contrast or that effect a little bit. That looks good, but I'm not liking what it's doing over here. So once again, you're just going to go ahead, flip this to black, grab this brush, come up here, scroll all the way up to the top. Or in this case, my brush is right there. Just grab my regular soft round brush because I don't need a fancy artistic brush. And then I'm going to make this back up to 100 and I'm going to paint that out right. And actually, I think I might flatten this a little bit. So how would I flatten it? That's really easy. We're just going to come up here. We're going to take that contrast out. Brighten that area up a little bit. Hit Command I to invert. And then we're just going to come and paint over that area. Hello. You need to be white, so we're going to paint that white and just kind of desaturate that area a little bit right there. And that's looking much better. And just like that, by using a watercolor brush and some really cool effects, we have this amazing, beautiful watercolor image that we've created inside Adobe Photoshop. Now, the cool thing about this is we've already created the masks and everything in this image. If we have another image that's similar, we can just replace these two images in here, disable these, and use the mask to a new image. And it would give us the same effect, but with a completely different image. And it makes it easy to kind of swap things in and out. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.